There's fun in learning around the bend. You could even do it with your best friend. If there's science stuff that you like to know, come watch Allie and Coco's Science Show.
Hello guys and welcome to Allie and Coco's Science Show. Yes, Colette, there is something different about me. I did cut off 12 inches of my hair. I'm donating it to children with hair loss. I'm not affiliated with them, but I've sent my hair to them twice now. New hair, new me, right? It is the last day of February and I want to wrap up the whole theme of love by talking about some interesting animal love stories. So these are I'm going to be talking about birds and just some ones that when I took an ornithology class, found most interesting. So let's get started. The first one I'm going to talk about is the great hornbill. The great hornbill lives in India and Southeast Asia. They prefer these old growth forests, these undisturbed with huge tracts of land. What they do is the male will start calling to a female. She'll call back, hello. Then they start singing in unison. It's a beautiful duet. And they're like, hey, hey, yeah. So then the female flies into the hollow of an old growth tree, plugs the hole up with her poop, among other things, but mostly poop. And throughout the egg laying, incubating, and child rearing process, she's plugged up in there. And the male brings her food. They eat fruit, small reptiles or small mammals like a rodent or a lizard, maybe even a small bird, mostly fruit though. So he brings her food over a couple weeks. Once the chicks, which the chicks are like plump, they're like potatoes. Once the chicks are halfway cooked, halfway done, the female will step out, plug the hole back up, and the chicks will plug the hole back up as well. And they'll continue to rear the chick from this hole in the tree that's covered up by like a poop plug. I just find it so interesting, so different from a lot of other nest situations. So I love the great hornbill. They're listed as vulnerable, and one of the main reasons is because of habitat loss. They do love these old growth forests, these old trees. So habitat loss is a big deal over there. Number 2 bird I want to talk about is the bowerbird. It's a family of birds that are all similar in that they create bowers. So basically they'll kind of bend some sticks and create a little staging area, or sometimes like a thatched hut. So they make a bower. They put all these shiny things in their bowers sometimes. They make a beautiful stage setting. And then a female comes along to look at all the shows in the neighborhood, and they have to put on the best show of their lives. If they mess up, she's like, that's embarrassing, and there's no way I'm mixing my DNA with that guy. These birds attract mates through a stage show. It's pretty freaking cool. So they're incredibly complex and behaviorally complex animals. And they've even been seen as arranging things in a way that is kind of like distorts the female's vision so that she thinks there's more than there actually is, kind of like an optical illusion. Anyway, they're really interesting to study. Researchers are just, I'm captivated by them. And they kind of have this, like, it's not necessarily about the genetics because they don't start doing this until they're a few years old, but it's more behaviorally how they develop and how they attract females with their riches. And this is just another example in the animal world of the males are there to provide sperm, and that's pretty much all they do. The females, like, are drab, they hide, they have their nests, they raise their young on their own, so with no male interaction. So, but if the chick survives to adulthood, if it's all successful, that female may be coming back, maybe spending less time watching all the lame other shows in the neighborhood. She'll probably come back to that bower she went to the year before. So it's super interesting. They don't mate for life, and neither do the great hornbill. They may mate for a long time, but bowerbirds don't necessarily mate for life. Okay, a few honorable mentions before I get to my third bird that rhymed. So of course I love flamingos. They have their mating dance. I highly recommend watching Crimson Wing. It takes you from like mating to the chicks being independent. So it's a pretty cool way to look at the full life cycle of a flamingo. Very heartbreaking as well. But the flamingos have this really awesome dance that I love. Penguins don't necessarily mate for life. Some only mate with someone for a season, some mate for multiple years. It really just depends. Also, of course, the birds of paradise have interesting rituals and dances and things like that I highly recommend watching on any of the planet Earths. They're always on there. And also for my Texas love, the Atwater prairie chicken has an interesting circle of dancing and interesting facial features. So I love the Atwater prairie chicken as well. But this is my number 3, my top animal love story is the albatross. There are 22 species of albatross. These are really cool birds. They are the oldest living bird that I know of. There's a lady named Wisdom who was banded in 1956, and she had a chick in 2017 apparently. She's 66 years old at least. Because they live a long time, they prolong when they start mating. And they are the birds with the largest wingspan of up to 12 feet. They're a long flying bird. They can fly 10,000 miles just soaring through the air. Incredibly awkward. I love them. So what happens? What happens when they mate? So they basically they start like awkwardly bowing at each other. They're pretty freaking cute when they do this, by the way. So they're bowing to each other, they're calling, they're clicking their beaks together. So they do the whole mating ritual, and then they have a chick. They co-parent. They spend a lot of time taking care of this chick because it takes a long time to grow a 12-foot wingspan and fly away. Lovely awkward birds. Now this is a species that may mate for life. If the chick is successful, grows to adulthood, everything's great and lovely and wonderful, they may mate for a long time. It's like they found the right bird, they found the right albatross that they can successfully have a kid with, and they're not gonna mess that up. So they will kind of stay together as long as it's successful. Now there are divorce, it's a common law marriage here. There are some divorced albatross. If they get together, they think it's right, and then they realize they can't really keep any of their young together, they may go find other mates. And that's possible. Penguins too. A lot of people think penguins live and mate together forever, but if it's not successful, they're not gonna keep messing around year after year using resources. But, you know, for the most part, these albatross are going to stay together for a long time. One big threat to them that I like to highlight is invasive species. Less so with dogs, more with cats. Their young are on the beach, just, you are so cute. Their young are just kind of on these like cliff sides, hilly areas, and outdoor cats can be a huge nuisance to albatross populations. So make sure your cats are indoors, guys. I cannot stress this enough. Cats and dogs, invasive species, are a huge problem for a lot of different animals out in the world. For the action of the day and for our last day of February, I want you guys to watch a nature documentary. There's always an awesome one about birds. Crimson Wing's a great one, Blue Planet, Planet Earth. All of them wonderful. All of them have something to teach you. All of them can sometimes be a little dramatic, but go watch a nature documentary. It's cold out. Oh, and next month, like in 2 days, you guys have chosen the theme on my social media. I will be making videos all about the science of space and time. I'm very excited. We got some cool things planned, so stay tuned. I will see you guys next week. Bye.